So, welcome back to another edition of Rock Chronicles. And I emphasize Rock Chronicles because this is about rock climbing. Let's have some rock talk. So, I went climbing today and I noticed, I had a good time, which I always do. And I had to, I guess, change the way that I climb because I jacked up my elbows gorilla climbing. So this is forcing me to reduce the level of routes that I do and work more so on technique, which I'm not sure if I'm doing, but that's the plan. Because every time I go, I have an idea in my head, but then I see somebody try something and then it seems like the thing to do, then I do it and I feel that tweak, and I most definitely have to be careful. But the one thing that I'm really starting to realize is I want to focus on, well, rock climbing even more, and I need to focus on myself more. So all the things that I plan on doing, I need to actually get on it and do, which I don't believe I've been putting everything that I should into it. Now, I think rock climbing has reminded me of that because it's pretty much what I want to do all the time. Like if it wasn't for like my elbows right now, I think I'd probably be climbing more. But it's one of those things. I've had, other injuries. I've had lingering injuries, but eventually they'll subside. Now, I live stream, I do video, and I haven't really been keeping up to it the way that I should. So this year, I plan on getting my first live streaming client. So my goal is one. Now, obviously, I want to build on that, so I want to be realistic. So my goal is one. I'm going to start volunteering my services. Well, I won't say volunteer because I do want something. I want to be able to use the footage for my website and for my benefit. So I wouldn't say volunteering, but I want to offer my services so I can get the experience of dealing with outside people and get the footage to help my marketing. So at this site where I work, there's been a lot of changes, and somebody who I had a lot of, I say had only because the person's not working there, but I still have a lot of respect for, and they essentially they let him go. Now, he has been a tremendous help for me, listening to me when I've just blathered on about stuff that's upset me, and I could only imagine what he'd have to go through listening to me, and I could not be the only one. As a matter of fact, I know I'm not the only one. So I understand this business, and if I take my emotion out of it, I understand what they did. If it was anybody else, I'd just be like, meh, and just roll with the punches. But it's because I liked and respected this person Why do I keep saying it in the past tense? I like and respect this person. It it's taken a while. I mean, not even a while. This happened yesterday. Like, who am I kidding? This is still like in my head and very upfront because it hasn't been that much time. Now, I could only imagine what he has to deal with because he's got a family, he's got kids. Um, and at the point that I talked to him, because after this happened, I reached out to him, I called him. And see, here's the thing, that's a testament to the respect I have for him and how much I like him, because there's been nobody that has been fired from a position that's been my boss that I've contacted afterwards. I've never done that. So it's a testament to the kind of person that he is and what he's done for me. So, what that tells me is nothing is forever. Just because you want something to be a certain way doesn't mean it will. And it kind of shook me. No, it downright shook me that I have to get my ish in order. Now, I've been, let's just call it lazy, and I've been sort of cruising on what I've been doing and not really putting my all in, because the scenario that I was in before was a negative one. So it motivated me more. Now, at the end of the day, I just got comfortable. And what I realize is you can't be comfortable. As somebody who, wants to achieve things, you can't be comfortable. You have to be uncomfortable. Just like when they say that you need to be hungry. And the funny thing is, in real life, it's good to be hungry. And as strange as that sounds to some people, but if you look at time restricted eating or intermittent fasting, however you want to word it, there's going to be hunger involved. And the thing that I never really thought about is that people, I guess, like in the West, say North America, maybe even England and Australia, those type of places, we're not hungry. There's food everywhere, so I don't know how many people in these countries actually experience hunger. So to achieve anything, you need to be hungry, and it's good to actually physically be hungry. And I haven't been hungry. Now, I need to change that. And I'm glad I have climbing because it's easy for me to shape things around that. And even when I'm looking at a vacation, I don't even know what a vacation is. I know what other people consider vacation, but that's not in my realm right now. Because, like, I hear a lot of people talk about and they need to get away, and I need to accomplish something. Then I'll get away. So, starting this year, because when people say this year I'm going to, but starting this year and on, I gotta restructure some things and just look at things in a better light, look at things in a more productive manner. Because where I work may not exist for long. Not saying it will go under, but just the way that things are, it'll be interesting to see if the new president can actually turn things around and make it a profitable and successful business long term. Now, either which way, whether he does turn things around or not, that doesn't change the fact I need to do what I need to do. So, climbing is at the forefront, and running here, starting and running a successful business is right up there. So, climbing today didn't make me realize, but I guess helped solidify the fact that I need to focus on me. So, that's what I'm gonna do. So I guess this was kind of Rock Chronicles because I did go climbing, and I did, even with my buggered elbows, did a couple of things that I didn't think I could. And one thing that I've been learning with rock climbing is that a lot of it depends on how you look at things. So I'll see a starting point in one of the routes, and in my head I'm like, okay, how do I do that? Because the way they have it, they'll have certain holds, and they'll have tape to indicate. So if there's a hole and there's two pieces of tape, you have to put two hands there. If there's one here, one here, one here, that's where one foot goes, one hand goes, or whatever it is. So they indicate by tape. And sometimes I'll look at it and just have no clue how to start it. Then somebody will come along, show, I guess, the beta. So what the beta is, the prescribed way to achieve getting to the top. Now, there's people that have their own methods, depending on your height, your size. Like, I've seen people do, so here, for me to press myself up against the wall and do those slow movements where balance is necessary, that's very difficult for me. I can do it, but I see other people and they're graceful. So this is why I know rock climbing is going to remain with me, because it's like a weird chess game. Now, I guess like people say that about jiu-jitsu. Fair enough. And maybe it's not a chess game because you're playing against another opponent, but somebody compared it to golf, just in the sense that it's you against the elements and it's a constant progression. So, yeah, I like that. I like that comparison. Now, it's more brutal on your body, funny enough, being that it's can be an extreme sport, but it's in slow motion. Another thing I realized with rock climbing, it makes me ravenously hungry. Like, my appetite. So when I take a break and I go to get something to eat from a climb, I'm ridiculously hungry. I don't think I've gotten this hungry that fast doing anything else. So I find that to be interesting, how rock climbing makes me so hungry. Now, I need to set myself up so that, because here, somebody said something to me that was interesting about new position that I had and the hours that I was working. And I was like, I'm not overly concerned with having too many hours because I want to go do, other things. And they said, fair enough, that in order for me to do these things, I'm gonna have to pay for these things. So it's a balance. And I think I need to subsidize and then eventually just live off what I intend to make on my own. So, having said all that, I say that to say this. I'm going to focus on myself and see what I could actually do. There's this thing that says, don't go on social media, don't really talk to anybody, keep your head down for like 6 months, go on the grind, and then see where you're at. And I'm gonna do something very similar to that because it's time to pull the trigger. So that's what I'm gonna do. So I think that's all I have to say about that and my future plans. So once again, I thank you for listening. And hug that special someone. Thank you.